It's Friday, July 21st, 2023. A lot to talk about. We're going to wrap this week up with a few interesting articles. My opinion, love to know your thoughts, your opinions, so please comment down below about any of these topics. I'm going to start with this first one. American Express reports record spending. We feel really confident. This is the title of the article on Fox Business today. American Express took in a record $15.1 billion over the second quarter as consumers spent more on its credit cards. Card member spending rose 8% over the quarter. Travel and entertainment saw a 14% increase, and they said a lot of that had to do with restaurant bookings, people going out to dinner. People want to be dining. They want to be entertained. Now, I'm going to say this today. I know there's a lot of people out there that feel lost, confused. They're feeling the pinch, the stress, yet we're seeing people out at the restaurants, at the resorts, they're driving around, they're spending money like there's no problem. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not the only one out there thinking the same thing. Are we wrong? Is everything okay? Is the economy in better shape than we think? The economy has already collapsed, ladies and gentlemen, and always remember this. They were still playing music while the Titanic was taking on water. After it hit that iceberg, they were still playing music so people wouldn't panic. And people still believe everything is okay. I'm here to tell you it's not okay. Things are fundamentally broken. We are not returning to normal. And just because people are out running up their credit cards, that is not a sign that the economy is okay. Because the stock market is up, that is not a sign that the economy is up. Because there's a lot of other red flags out there that are telling us quite the opposite. You know, we have an inverted yield curve. We have massive amounts of debt. We have half the people in this country that are working 2 to 3 jobs. Millions of people cannot pay their utility bills. They're falling behind. We're seeing FICO scores falling. We're seeing 15 to 20,000 car repossessions a day in America. Wells Fargo paying premiums so they can get their cars back sooner than everybody else because they know that the used car market is about ready to tank as we are seeing prices coming down. And of course, inflation is going absolutely bananas. And we're supposed to believe because people are going out and eating and spending more on entertainment and piling up debt on credit cards that everything is okay. I don't believe that for a second. You're not alone. You're right. Things are broken. Things are not coming back to normal. My friend Rick sent me something very interesting yesterday. And if you want any type of validation of what is taking place, if you want something to reinforce with you the truth, go to this website, and there's a couple very similar ones. This one that he sent me, usinflationcalculator.com. If you go to this website, very interesting because you can put in a dollar amount, the year, and you can compare it to 2023. So for instance, for example, if I punch in 2019 and I put in the dollar amount $100,000, what would it cost me in 2023 to replace that $100,000, that purchasing power that I had in 2019? Well, here's the answer, and it's quite startling. Hopefully that shows up. $100,000 in 2019, you would need today in 2023 $119,343.10 to replace that $100,000 in 2019. So that means that we are seeing an inflation rate of 19.3% from 2019 to 2023. Now, if I adjust that number to 2018, we calculate that. Now, to replace that $100,000 that we had in 2018, to replace it today, it would cost us $121,505.57, 21.5%. Now, if we go all the way back to 2015, $100,000 compared to 2023, it would cost you $128,728.74 to replace that same $100,000 you had in 2015. That is 28.7%. That is startling. And so we're sitting here talking about inflation being 3%. Take a look, go back to 2020, 2019, 2015, and look, the inflation we're seeing is way more than 3%, ladies and gentlemen. Again, to replace $100,000, you would have to have $120 some odd thousand dollars now to replace what you would have had in 2015. The money is losing purchasing power. You have to make a lot more to retain the kind of purchasing power you had 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Absolutely startling. Rick, thanks for sending me that. Another article today I want to share with all of you, coming from The Hedge. U.S. corporate debt defaults in 2023 surpassed last year's total. This coming from Moody's. The cheap money's over, ladies and gentlemen, and this means that we're no doubt going to see more job losses because more companies are going to be filing bankruptcy. They're going to be going out of business. 55 companies have already defaulted on their debts. We saw 36 total last year default on their debts. This year already 55, and we're barely halfway over the year. We got a long way to go. Now, I apologize if you hear some snoring. You know who it is. It's the nudge. But I want to share this this information, this data with you that came to me yesterday from Chicago Title. These are the latest the latest home numbers, sales, right here in Riverside County. This is the 10th largest county in the entire country, 4th largest county in California. We have about 2.5 million people living in this county, so it's pretty populated. But I'm going to just go over some of these cities in Riverside County. And if you're not, from California, you probably don't know these cities, but it's happening in your areas too. But there's different parts of Corona. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 different parts of Corona. It could be like west, central, east, what have you. But we're looking at parts of Corona in Riverside County. Sales down 44.85%, 35.10%, 37.56%, 39.95%, 47.56%. So basically, if you take all of Corona, it's down about probably 41, 42% sales year over year. If we look at Hemet, down 32.3%. Another part of Hemet down 37.32%. And here's another one, 26.76% in Hemet. And I bring Hemet up because if you remember many, many years ago, after the 2008 housing crisis, 60 Minutes came out to Hemet, and they were talking and interviewing all these people who'd bought homes with zero money down or very little money down. They lost their homes, they had adjustable rates, and it was a complete bloodbath in Hemet. And you're looking at sales absolutely collapsing while interest rates are going up. Job losses are going up. Inflation is going up. I'm going to continue here. Indian Wells, very wealthy area out here. Sales are down 26.25%. La Quinta, down 41.81%. Lake Elsinore, 36.35%. Another area of Lake Elsinore, down 45.39%. Now we have Menifee, another booming area out here in Southern California. There's multiple parts of Menifee, but just to give you some of the numbers here, 36.91%, 52.98%, 32.13%, 40.63%. Sales down year over year in Menifee. Moreno Valley. We have 4 parts of Moreno Valley. And I'll just round this off. Down 40%, down 37%, down 39%, down 36%. Sales down year over year. Murrieta, down 44%, down 44%. North Palm Springs, down 33%. Palm Desert, down 28%. The other part of Palm Desert, down 35%. Here we have a couple other parts of Palm Springs. Here could be the north end, the south end, down 40%, down 37%. Riverside, the city. We have multiple parts of the city, down 55%, down 40%, down 40%. San Jacinto, another area next to Hemet, when 60 Minutes came out, interviewed, I mean, these are areas like Hemet, San Jacinto, absolutely booming, building thousands of homes. Sales down 46%, and 37%. Temecula, wine country, 45%, 39%, 44%. This coming to me last night from Chicago Title. These are the latest numbers, ladies and gentlemen, of what's happening here in Riverside County. These numbers don't lie. Sales have absolutely collapsed. I was talking to a friend of mine today who runs a pawn shop, and he says they're seeing business up 30% month over month. People, he said, are turning in big screen TVs, you know, all the stuff that they bought when all the stimulus money was flowing and people couldn't spend it fast enough. Now they're running to the pawn shops, selling the big screen TVs, selling all kinds of electronics. He says it's unbelievable. You know, he called me a year ago and said that they're dying. Nobody's selling anything. Nobody's pawning anything. Now he says we don't know where to put the stuff. And they had to open up an extra day during the week to accept all this business. But anybody that doesn't see a crisis in housing right now is absolutely blind. Sales have absolutely plunged. I've never seen sales at these kind of levels ever in my life. This is an absolute collapse in housing sales. And if you're in the real estate business, if you're in the mortgage business, I hope you have a backup plan. I hope you saved up a lot of money, because this is going to be a complete bloodbath. If you're in real estate, if you're in the mortgage industry, you're going to be in big trouble here if you have not been preparing. I've never seen sales plunge like we are seeing and have been seeing. Now it is a matter of when do prices follow. And we're beginning to see things cool off. We're seeing some areas where prices are coming down, but they're not coming down fast enough, but they're going to. And why do I say that? Easily, because people aren't renting out the Airbnbs like they used to. People are losing jobs. People are tapped out on credit cards. People have tapped out their savings accounts. People are working 2 to 3 jobs, and they just cannot keep up with the cost of living. And people are downsizing. People are going to lose those Airbnbs. People are getting divorced. And once you lose one income, guess what? You can't afford the house. The spouse loses a job, guess what? You can't afford the house. People don't even have $400 in savings. And people are going to tell you and me that the housing market's going to stay strong when 42% of this country doesn't even have $400 saved up. And many, many more people are about to lose their jobs. And anybody believing that inflation is 3% or that inflation's going away, just go to the inflation calculator, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at what is going on here. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, think about that. 2015, if you had $100,000 in 2015, you would need $128,728 today to have the same purchasing power that you did back in 2015. And yet you think that this isn't going to go down? You think that we're not going to see a housing collapse? Give me a break. There is too much debt. People have acquired too much debt. We're seeing FICO scores now coming down. People that once had a 680, 690, they're going down to 620, 630. They're delinquent on payments. You got millions can't even pay their utility bills here in America. And this isn't to be negative. This isn't to be doom and gloom, ladies and gentlemen. This is to be realistic, that you're protecting yourself, that you're not living beyond your means, living over your head. That, you know, somebody wrote me yesterday, said that they're canceling their vacation because they're going to stack the cash. And I thought that's smart. Look, if you can afford to go on vacation, if you can afford to go buy a Lambo today, and it's not going to, you know, affect you one way or another, go do it. God bless you. You've worked hard. You've acquired the money. You don't have big debt. Go do it. You can do whatever you want to do. And I commend you. And obviously, you've been very, very blessed. You've worked very, very hard. You've been very, very diligent and smart. And it's allowed you to have the freedom and to buy what you want to buy. But unfortunately, most people in America right now are living off of credit cards, or people are living paycheck to paycheck, and they don't realize that next week they could lose their job. Their spouse could lose a job. They don't realize that an emergency could pop up tomorrow. Let's just say your kid falls down, needs 20 stitches. You know, do you have the $1,500? To pay for that? If you don't, you're going to go to the credit card at 24 to 29%, and you're going to get deeper into debt. So, maybe people do have to pack their own brown bag lunches and cut going out to lunch every day. Maybe they got to cut out the $8, $9, $10 lattes. Maybe they got to cut out the vacation. Maybe you drive in a little older car or a little lesser car, and be comfortable with your payment, and maybe have 3 years of payments instead of 7 years of payments. We live in a society where people just want to impress people they don't even know, and they're going broke doing that. Wolfstreet.com, housing market faces reckoning. Price of used houses now the same as the price of new houses. Homeowners are absolutely delusional. See, here's the difference between the typical homeowner and the home builder. These guys, the home builders, they're savvy. They're sophisticated. They know what they're doing, and they see the writing on the wall. So what are they doing? Well, they're giving huge incentives. They're dropping prices. They're buying down mortgage rates. They're throwing a swimming pool, whatever. They're doing something in order to get somebody to buy that house because they know what's around the corner. The average home seller is delusional. They don't see what is around the corner, and they're going to continue to chase this market all the way down while they're every month making that mortgage payment, not selling their house, going, wow, we've been on the market for 90 days, 120 days, 180 days, and we haven't even gotten an offer. I wonder why. Well, because you're too high. If you want to sell, you need to be the best price home now on the block and get out. But I think that another big problem in the housing market is qualified buyers. They can tell us all day that there's just not enough homes on the market, but what about qualified buyers? That's the problem. That's going to be the shortage. You're going to have a shortage of qualified buyers. And remember, you have 1.7 million homes under construction, new homes coming. Airbnb sales have absolutely gotten crushed. So you're going to see more of those Airbnb homes coming on the market. The landlords who are evicting their tenants right now, who haven't gotten paid in 3 years, they're going to be selling homes. People who's lost a job, selling homes. Spouses who've lost a job, they're going to have to sell a home. People who are just in financial turmoil are going to come to the realization that they're going to have to sell their home. And of course, there's people that are going to downsize, people that want to move, and they're going to sell their home. But I just don't believe that this shortage of inventory is extreme as they're trying to sell us on it. They can't admit that the economy and interest rates are playing a role here, and qualified buyers. They can't admit that. So it's just easier to say, hey, there's just not that many houses. So, that's why, sales are down. That's why, people aren't buying homes because there's just no homes to buy. That's completely false. There are homes out there for sale. If you really want a home, you'll find one. Next article. And I'm going to finish with these last three articles because they're all pretty much related. New York Post, traumatized Florida girl flees state after viral beating video haunts her across 2 schools. This is a 6th grader. I believe she's a 6th grader now, but this happened last year when she was a 5th grader. She had been being bullied. And I bring this up because we talk daily about having a skill set. And I have filmed in some pretty bad areas. We've been down to Skid Row multiple times, parts of LA, homeless areas of San Diego, Riverside County, San Bernardino. And, I typically, go out with people who can take care of themselves. But I bring this up because situational awareness and skill sets are so important right now. And even if you have a child in school, we are seeing this just a record amount of people, kids, being bullied. And I guess it's trendy to film this and have it, go viral, and nobody steps in, nobody helps. They film it hoping to get views, and they find it entertaining. But this young girl, according to this article, confided in her mother about the bullying that was taking place. Her mother went to the school administration. They promised her, assured her that her daughter would be protected. And within hours of that meeting, she was brutally beaten by another girl in the bathroom while spectators filmed it and laughed and shrieked. I bring this up, ladies and gentlemen, because you may have kids that go to school. And what if they're getting bullied, or what if they do get bullied? We have to be proactive. And I think it all starts at home, right? Make sure that your kids are prepared for the real world. Every now and then, when we're out filming, I may get approached, and it doesn't really bother me. I don't panic. I don't freak out. We'll take care of business. That's just the bottom line. I don't walk around in fear. I don't live in fear. I don't have a negative life like some people, want to portray. I have a very positive life, but I have self-confidence. It's jujitsu 2 to 3 times a week, the gym. It's always, being proactive, always being ready, getting to the range, always training, doing something to be a little bit better, putting the odds in your favor. And that doesn't mean I'm the toughest person in the world. That I'm going to win every fight in the world. But when you have some skills, ladies and gentlemen, it's not even a matter of winning or losing. It's a matter of just surviving, maybe just getting away, getting out of that locker room, that bathroom, maybe just getting to your car, maybe just getting to the phone, whatever. It's not always about winning, losing. It's just about surviving and getting out of a bad place. And I bring this article up because I know a lot of people out there have kids, and one of the best things you can invest in is skill sets for your kids. Make sure that they're learning self-defense skills. I think jiu-jitsu is one of the best things your kids could be doing right now. If that girl had 6 months of jiu-jitsu, she would have absolutely destroyed that girl that was on top of her, hands down, without a doubt. Maybe even 3 months. Maybe 30 days, honestly. The girl on top of her had no skills. The girl on the bottom had less skills. That girl had 6 months. It would be a joke. It would be a joke. And think about just the confidence. Nobody would have ever messed with her again. But because your mommy and your daddy aren't always going to be there for you, your attorney isn't going to be there for you. The police aren't going to be there for you. The administration's not always going to be there for you. Help is not always going to be there for you. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to be on your own. Sometimes your kids are going to be on their own. Can they handle their business? Make sure you're setting them up to win. Here's another one today, New York Post. Irate moviegoer pummels 63-year-old man in Florida AMC theater. This happened because the older gentleman reserved some seats. Somebody was sitting in them. He politely asked them, hey, I reserved these seats. Could you move over? And this individual pummeled this older gentleman for just asking him to move out of his seats. So the person who assaulted this man was not even supposed to be in these reserved seats. So again, maybe it's a good idea to have some skills. And, not that this 63-year-old man might have won, but if he had enough skills, maybe he could have suffered less damage and created some space and just got away, But just being somebody's punching bag, not a good strategy. And I'm going to finish with this last one. This was interesting. Megan Fox slammed into barricade as someone attempts to assault boyfriend Machine Gun Kelly. This happened at a place I'd been to many, many times over the years when I lived in Orange County, and this was the Orange County Fair. It's a big event, typically, as I've always known, a very safe event in Costa Mesa, California. And I'm no fan of Megan Fox or Machine Gun Kelly. I don't care for these people whatsoever, but I'm not going to judge them. But they're walking around with a bodyguard, okay? They're walking around with a bodyguard, and Machine Gun Kelly, somebody tries to assault him. And so most of us cannot walk around with a bodyguard. And here you are at the Orange County Fair, Costa Mesa, California, very safe area, very nice area, just a fun event. And I've been there probably a half a dozen times over my lifetime. I've never seen any issues. I've never had an issue. But if it can happen at the Orange County Fair and you're walking around with a bodyguard and somebody still tries to assault you, maybe it's time to think about really learning some self-defense and making sure you have the skill sets to protect yourself, protect your woman, your wife, your kids, and yourself. Because if something happens to you, who's going to take care of your kids and your wife or your girlfriend if you're taken out of the picture? They're going to go after them. So again, if it can happen in Costa Mesa, California at the Orange County Fair, walking around with a bodyguard, think about what could happen to you. Are you ready, trained, and able to deal with an altercation, a situation? If you don't want to do it for you, at least make sure you do it for your kids and your family. If you're too lazy to train, make sure that your kids are training. I think that's one of the best investments you can make, to make sure your kids have an education and to make sure your kids can take care of themselves when you're not there. God bless every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share this video, and comment down below. I'm looking forward to see what everybody says. Comment about anything you want. I want to thank all of you for the comments down below. They're the best comments of any channel on YouTube. You've woken up so many people. So many people enjoy those comments and have gained so much knowledge from those comments. You've woken up, you have saved lives because of those comments. This channel does not exist without you. It does not exist without those comments. I can sit here and talk for 10 hours, but at the end of the day, those comments, to me, is what really matters, because people read those comments and they personally don't know who you are. They don't really, know your background or your lifestyle, but they know that you're being honest. And so I think it really means something when somebody takes a few minutes and writes something there. I think people really trust that. I think people really look at that as sincerity, and they trust that and they believe that, because it's just the everyday person commenting, reporting in what's happening in their personal life, their work, their state, their city, their interpretation of what's happening, just with the morality of America, the direction of America, the spirituality of America, all of that. So we've gained a lot of knowledge with all of your comments, without a doubt. Again, I can sit here and talk for 10 hours, but at the end of the day, I think what really matters is what the average person every day is thinking and saying, because that's what I believe. I don't believe what I'm hearing on the news. I believe more what the average person is telling me in those comments. And I think most people would agree with that. Have a great day. God bless every one of you. Again, thanks for tuning in. None of this is possible without you. God bless every one of you.